So the Tokyo Game Show was a few months back, and there was a particular game that honestly kind of blew me away. So I wanted to talk about it with some info that I found online and explain why I'm tentatively excited for it. But before that, if you enjoyed this content, please consider leaving a like, comment, subscribing. It really helps out the channel. I'm pushing for 300. We're currently at 248. So every like, every subscribe helps out the channel tremendously. Thank you guys so much. And let's get into it. So Ananta was shown off to the public at the Tokyo Game Show. And it's kind of wild from the gameplay and trailers to see where it takes its inspiration from. And takes is the key word because it kind of blatantly takes it. Let me be clear though. I am still very much excited for this game. And if you could use another game's mechanics for a different purpose or the same purpose into your game, more power to you. That's the old tried and true Blizzard technique. It's just funny how similar it is from those games to this game. Regardless, let's go over what Ananta is. So Ananta comes from first-time developer Naked Rain over in China. It is a subsidiary of Thunder Fire Studios, which is under NetEase. And if you can't tell already, Ananta is an open-world GTA-style game. From the trailers and gameplay, you could definitely see the similar styles from different games, like the Arkham fighting with counter system, to the open world style shooting and driving, even with Uncharted set pieces, like when Richie uses his not symbiote Spider-Man ability to hold on to a truck while it's dragging him through a construction yard. On the topic of symbiote, later in the gameplay, you can see Richie swinging through the city with this symbiote with very similar animations as Marvel's Spider-Man, which I thought was really funny. Naked Rain really wears their inspiration on their sleeve. In other footage that you can see from users that were at Tokyo Game Show doing the in-person live gameplay, you can see that there's a relative open world with elements of Spider-Man, even with the GTA style changing character mechanic where it zooms out and then zooms back in. Also, you can see the different vehicles that are used, like a Vespa or a car or a police vehicle on top of that. At one point in the gameplay, you can see a character walk into a shop and buy different outfits, all while using in-game currency, or at least that's what the developers have said. Later in the gameplay, you even see them go into a gym to do workout mini games to possibly upgrade your character. I don't know how this exactly works or ties into it, but that's honestly crazy. They show off fast travel in the game by the use of trams. So you would go on your map, click where you want to go, and have this little cutscene of you fast traveling over to it. Even at one point, you see Richie, the person with the symbiote, basically Spider-Man his way onto a moving tram, and then has the ability of actually going into the tram and sitting down and interacting with it while it's moving. At one point, they end up at an apartment. You see them eating food and watching TV, and then you see them play as one of the characters and start harassing people on the streets, shooting them, or getting into fights. And then there's another moment where they were talking to them and basically just telling them to get on the ground so they can be arrested. I don't know what the gameplay implications of that is, but I mean, still very interesting, very in depth on top of that. And then over on the Anita official Reddit page, one of the users, Eyeball Funny Man, ended up doing an interview with one of the developers, Ash, and got some great information about this game. One of my biggest questions for this game was, is this a gacha game? How does the monetization work and all of that, right? Well, Ash, the developer, said, quote, "In order to allow players to experience the life of a character, we want them to be able to freely choose a character and enjoy a variety of different lives. For this reason, we have made it possible to obtain characters in a way that is not a gacha." Ash also mentioned about the consideration of multiplayer. He said, quote, "We are also considering a multiplayer mode where you can take on missions with friends in an open world." Another question that the user asked was about progression and RPG, basically RPG elements of these characters. And Ash said, quote, "Things like growth and strengthening also differ depending on the character. For example, the demo version of the TGS 2025 featured a police character named Richie, whose level increased by completing police-like tasks. In contrast, the delivery person Taffy's level increased by delivering packages." They put a lot of emphasis on working in this game and getting a job, basically, but they also mentioned that you can be unemployed. Ash said, quote, "There are characters who are unemployed. In addition to completing tasks tailored to your profession, you can also level up by fighting chaos. You can also level up by living in the city, such as driving a car. Of course, if you don't like being unemployed, you can find a job yourself and earn money doing what you love." Ash also mentioned the size of the studio that is working on this game, which is mind-boggling. Ash said, quote, "I'd say about 700 to 800 people. We all work together at one base." And the last question I wanted to bring up was on the topic of pricing. So how are they pricing it, and how does the monetization look like? Ash states, quote, "We plan to operate Ananta as a free-to-play game, as mentioned earlier. This game will not have a gacha system for obtaining characters. And as for paid elements, we are currently planning to sell paid character skins. In addition to skins, character customization options include home renovations and car purchases, which can generally be purchased with in-game currency. We also plan to sell special items such as limited time event costumes as paid content." So my final thoughts on this whole thing. First off, having 700 to 800 people working on a single project is absolutely bonkers to me. I don't know how far they are in development at the moment, but with this showcase, it shows that they have a significant amount of work done and work to be done. Making a game of this size is no easy task. Just ask Rockstar. As for gameplay and what they are hoping to achieve, I think I've seen enough to be on board with this idea. Will they stick the landing? Who knows? That's to be seen. But this is a very impressive first showing of the game. I can't even say it's a proof of concept because they've shown so much of the game and it's in a playable state, and it seems that they are well along in development for this game. I'm keeping my cards close to my chest though. I don't want to be too hyped for it because development can change in a matter of an instant. It could look extremely promising in the beginning and then come out and be a complete dud. But I mean, what do you guys think about it? I'm extremely excited to see what is next, and I will be keeping my eye on this game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please consider leaving a like, comment, subscribing. It really does help out the channel tremendously. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.